I think Dogelon Mars is fantastic, and at a $5 billion market cap during this bull run, that wouldn't be shocking at all to me. Now, of course, nothing I say is financial advice nor a guarantee, and if you're wondering what price it would have at that point, I do showcase it on the screen. But even besides that, you have to take this into consideration. A $5 billion market cap is currently over 70x from here when it comes to Dogelon Mars. Kind of insane to think about. The market cap is below $100 million as we speak. Kind of ridiculous, especially when you consider just how amazing Dogelon Mars is. A+ community, over 100,000 holders. This is very impressive. Also, on top of that, they have a metaverse in the works. And also, they're even, in the works for a layer 2. You take a look at, this could be so huge for something like Dogelon Mars. And this most likely, by the way, will include a burn mechanism. So you can only imagine that these amazing factors for a meme coin, this small market cap, this is kind of unheard of. I think it's a sleeping giant. I think it's a hidden gem, hypothetically speaking, because also on top of that, you consider how it's listed in over 20 major exchanges. I mean, this is insane. Kind of crazy we see something like this, but this low. But if anything, I actually love it because the lower something is, hypothetically, the more room it has to grow. Furthermore, it does give me a chance to, lower down my average cost. So I really love that when it comes to Dogelon Mars. People like to seem to think that low prices is like doomsday, it sucks, it's all this. But personally for me, hey, it's not so bad because, personally speaking, hypothetically, if I don't sell, that's still an unrealized loss. Now, not financial advice, but that's just the way I view it. It's only a realized loss if I sell, so why would I do that? Either I can complain, either I can just say, oh wow, it's caca, all this, or I can just make use of my situation, just try to take advantage of it, and then just lower down my average cost. So either way, I don't think it's a bad thing when it comes to Dogelon Mars. And the hype for meme coins, I think it's going to come back in again. We're seeing something like Turbo, as of right now, have a decent pump. We're seeing something like Baby Dogecoin, right? But, they recently got listed in something like Binance. So, of course, it makes sense. And I actually talked about this because I'm bullish on them too. But even besides that, I think that Dogelon Mars will have its shine again because once people, remove their negative sentiment, once the hype comes back in again, once the attention comes back to meme coins again, which I do believe it hypothetically will, I think Dogelon Mars is going to be in a prime position to really just skyrocket. Because guess what? A lot of people out there, they want to look for the next big meme coin. And even though I don't think anything is necessarily wrong when it comes to the big meme coins out there, sometimes people just want to experience, that kind of legendary bull run. So when it comes to Dogelon Mars, man, hypothetically, it could be something so special, but only time will tell because, I can't wave some magic wand and demand Dogelon Mars to pump like today or whatever. I can't do that. I can only focus things that are within my control. Much like, again, like I mentioned before, dollar cost averaging, not giving up, believing. I can control that, but I can't control, again, when exactly it pumps, right? I can't really do that. But what I can do is look at what happened historically speaking. Now, what did happen in history? We've seen that usually altcoins, as a worst case scenario, they have peaked around a year and a half after a Bitcoin halving event, basically around 18 months. So the Bitcoin halving event, we all know happened back in April. So around 18 months from then would be, of course, October of next year. So you can only imagine that. That's actually just a little bit over a year from right now. So it's not that bad. Now, granted, people may think that this is so bad, caca, whatnot. But in my opinion, it's actually not such a bad thing. If I have more time for me to accumulate something that I like, why not, right? I don't think it's a bad thing at all. I would say yes to that. Now, if it happened earlier, would that be amazing? Yeah, sure. Go on a sizzler time. But hey, if it happens a little bit later, fine. I'll just continue to accumulate more anyways. Now, also on top of that, take this into consideration. This bull run is going to be no joke. I mean, it's going to be so fantastic. You take a look at how there's over 600 million crypto owners, according to Crypto.com research. The Bitcoin ETF, the number of institutional investors. With all that taken into consideration, Bitcoin can't go to the price of $150,000 during this bull run at least. I believe it could hypothetically do that. And if it were to do that, it's only fair to assume that something like Dogelon Mars is going to go along with the ride. At a $5 billion market cap at that point, I don't think it's crazy. And you take this into consideration. Why could their layer 2 be so big for it? Because you take a look at, again, I did mention that it, most likely will include a burn mechanism, which is of course amazing, but you take a look at Shibarium, Shiba Inu's layer 2. That gave Shiba Inu so much hype, so much attention. Not that it really needed any more hype or attention, but hey, it still helped nonetheless. And especially for something relatively small when it comes to Dogelon Mars, it's going to do absolute wonders for it. It even did, some wonders for Shiba Inu. So imagine for Dogelon Mars. That could be so amazing. Now, when it comes to the metaverse, it's a thought that counts, right? Some people keep saying, oh, it's not going to be the best metaverse of all time. Highly unlikely, of course. Yeah, I get it. But come on, it's a thought that counts. At least they're trying. At least they're trying to improve. A lot of other meme coins out there, they like to project how they're lazy, how, basically, right? Because if you think about it, they like to say that, they don't want to evolve. They like to say, yeah, we're a meme coin with no use case. It's like, what is that about, man? That just makes no sense. At least try a little bit. I'm not saying that, meme coin needs the best use case out there because naturally it's not supposed to. But at least attempting to, it's not so bad in my opinion. When it comes to Dogelon Mars, they're attempting to improve. They're innovating. And that's a good meme coin project in my opinion. I don't think it's bad at all, despite what a lot of people like to say. And again, really it's just a waiting game at this point. All I got to do is just stay patient, just continue to accumulate. And just wait, because at a $5 billion market cap, some people may think it's some random crazy pipe dream because they're like, oh, wow, it's over 70x from here. But take this into consideration. Dogecoin reached over 80 billion at one point. Shiba Inu at one point reached around 40 billion. So is around a $5 billion market cap too much to ask for? That's barely like 10% of SHIB's all-time high market cap. And that's nowhere near, 10% of Doge's all-time high market cap. So come on, it's not that much to ask for in my opinion. And again, once Bitcoin reaches those great heights, when that FOMO really kicks back in again, I don't see why not. It's not, too much to ask for, in my opinion. Now, could it be a Shiba Inu or Doge level? No, I don't think Dogelon Mars could be that big. Now, you may be wondering, okay, why would you think that way? Aren't you bullish on Dogelon Mars? Yes, but take this into consideration. Back in 2021, there wasn't that many meme coins. A lot of attention was just basically on SHIB and Doge. That was pretty much it, right? At least for the large majority of the people. So if you take that into consideration, of course, trying to replicate something like that again in this day and age with so many meme coins, with, a lot more projects to choose from, it's very difficult. But it doesn't mean that Dogelon Mars needs to be a Doge or a SHIB to be successful. Sometimes people are under this misconception that, if it's not the next SHIB, if it's not the next Doge, that means it's caca. No, man. Again, a $5 billion market cap, so small again in the grand scheme of things compared to a SHIB or Doge, is already over 70x from here. Sometimes enough is enough. That's the way I take a look at it. Now, not financial advice, but over 70x. I mean, who's complaining about that? Even at a $5 billion market cap, sometimes people think I'm bearish when it comes to Dogelon Mars. But again, I don't think it's bearish. I think when it comes to Dogelon Mars, this should be, pretty good actually. And I don't see why it won't reach that. With all those amazing factors, really, I don't see why not. And when I did mention how there's over 600 million crypto owners as we speak, sometimes people may think, okay, why is this a good factor? There's billions of people in this world. That's actually not that much. No, it's actually a lot in my opinion, because if we put some perspective into this, if we take a look back in the peak of the 2021 bull run, at that time, there was roughly only around 300 million crypto owners. So imagine now we basically have double that amount. Again, would the bull run be bad? No, right? I think it could be hypothetically so fantastic. But it's going to take some time again. I'm taking a look at 2025 because this year, could things do good? Hypothetically, but I think due to the market sentiment, it's going to happen sometime in 2025. But I'm going to prepare myself for that by just accumulating right now, because later on, once Dogelon Mars goes to like a $2 billion, $4 billion market cap, at that point, it's cruise control time for me. I don't want to FOMO in at that time. I want to stay busy right now so I don't have to do that later. That's just my mindset. I'd rather just do like the work right now instead of, postponing it till later. If I try to FOMO in later, that's like studying a day before the exam, like studying a day before the finals. Now, don't get me wrong. I've done that before, but it's not ideal, right? I think it's much better anticipating something as opposed to chasing it again, which is why I'm accumulating Dogelon Mars right now, because hypothetically, I believe it could be something so special. Around a year from right now, Bitcoin, altcoins, meme coins, I think they could all look so different, but it's just a matter of time. I'm staying patient. Dogelon Mars at a $5 billion market cap during this bull run, that wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. I think it's that amazing. I think the community is that fantastic. And I think the hype for meme coins could hypothetically jump back in again. And I really can't wait. And make sure to subscribe if you gain value from this video. I'd greatly appreciate it. It's been Lee the Captain, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace. Bye.